What is self-improvement? All right. Let's break down the actual word. I know it sounds stupid, but let's take a look into it. Self-improvement, okay? You're doing something for yourself to improve yourself, okay? However, a big issue that I've seen a lot of people run into is that, they'll be like, Bez, I'm going to the gym, I'm eating healthy, I'm trying to be a better person, I'm trying to be more social, take more risks. But I'm not really seeing any changes. I feel like I'm still in the same place that I was, you know, 4 months ago before I started self improvement. What should I do? Is this pointless? Does it work? Should I give up? And to that I say, first of all, no, you shouldn't give up, and that it's not pointless. The thing is, though, you have to remember, like I said in the beginning, break down the word self improvement. You're improving yourself for yourself. And I know we all want to be noticed for the progress we're making. I know we all want to be acknowledged for our accomplishments, but sometimes that just might not happen. Whether, it's because of the people you're around not really wanting to do that. Maybe it just hasn't become obviously apparent to them yet. And I know it may suck because it's hard, right? You're going to the gym, you're eating healthy, you're trying to be a better person, you're getting rid of all those instant gratification pleasures that you indulged in, right? It's hard work to get rid of those things and to start these new good habits. And, it's nice to be noticed for it, but you're not always going to get acknowledged for it. And this is personally something that I've struggled with because I would put in months at the gym. I would be gaining knowledge, becoming more socially adept at adapting to situations, things like that. And nothing would change, right? I wouldn't get noticed by more women, right? Nobody pointed anything out to me. I wouldn't start making more money, right? Things still kind of just remain the same. And thing is, sometimes that's just going to happen even though you're on self-improvement, right? This self-improvement isn't some magic, like sign that hovers over your head that other people can see. It says, look, notice me. I'm better. I'm doing better than I was a month ago, right? People don't know that, right? Some people, especially new people you encounter, they don't see the progress you've made, right? So even though you're growing into becoming a better person, right? Not everyone is going to see the changes over time like you do, right? And it's discouraging because it's like, oh, I'm becoming a better person than I was a month ago, 2 months ago, but I'm still getting the same results. And the thing about that is, like, you're doing it for yourself, right? Not everyone is going to notice those things, right? Maybe your close friends and your family members will notice those things, but other people probably won't. They won't acknowledge it. And unless you have some sort of drastic body transformation going from like overweight to extremely fit or extremely skinny to extremely fit, all these changes that you're making besides like working out, right, aren't visually apparent, right? You becoming a better person, becoming a better communicator, becoming more confident, right? It's not apparent to people until they start getting to know you and really start talking to you for, extended periods of time. And so this is something I struggled with because I'm like, I knew what the work I was putting in, right? The reading I was doing, the meditation I was doing, and the progress that I was making, right? But when I would go out or go to the gym, I wasn't really getting the attention or, the elevated respect that I thought I should earn, right? And it's not because people were disrespecting me or anything, but I just thought since I've made such great strides in the person I am, I thought I would be getting treated differently. But sometimes, again, people may not notice that on you right away, right? People need to get to know you, especially if a lot of the self-improvement you're doing is in the way you speak and the way you approach situations, right? I still felt the same as when I did before. I thought it was because I wasn't doing enough. I thought I still wasn't good enough, that something was wrong with me. And in reality, it's that these people don't know the work I've put in, right? And it's the same thing that we talk about when we see celebrities just blow up out of nowhere, right? It doesn't happen out of nowhere. There's so much work put in behind the scenes that you don't see, but because they just came up out of nowhere, to our appearance, we think they just, blew up luckily, right? Guys like, I Show Speed, Logan Paul, right? You think these guys, oh, they're doing nothing. Like, I could do the same thing. I could stream and yell and do all this stuff, but they probably put in so much work that you guys just, didn't notice in behind the scenes. And that's the same way with self-improvement, right? Like, you're putting in so much work behind the scenes to get to where you're at. And when people talk to you as if you haven't done that, because they just don't know. And the one thing you guys have to remember is that you're doing it for yourself at the end of the day. You're doing it to become a better person, to treat the people that are close to you better, right? To improve the lives of the people around you, you're really not doing it to seek validation from other people. And I'm not going to sit here and say that validation isn't nice, right? I'd be lying to you if I told you that I don't like receiving compliments or being acknowledged for the work and progress I put in. I would lie to you to say I would be lying to you if I told you that's not something that I enjoy getting, and that's not something that I like receiving, right? But the thing is, at the end of the day, when that stuff doesn't happen, you can't get discouraged, and that's the key thing. And when we're not getting that response that we want of the good feedback, the people acknowledging our improvement, people treating us differently, even though we're making great progress in our self-improvement goals, we shouldn't get discouraged. Again, you're doing this for yourself. If you know that you're becoming a better person day in and day out from the things that you're doing, right? It doesn't matter that somebody is not telling you that, right? They don't have to validate you in order for you to know that you're becoming better. There's this kind of silent respect that you get once you've leveled up in certain areas of your life that you don't even need to hear people say, "Oh, you're so cool," or "You good at this and that." You just kind of know based on the way they talk to you and treat you, right? If they go to you for advice, right? If they value your opinion, that's all the validation you really need to know that you're doing something right. And especially for men, it's much harder because we don't really get complimented like that. At least I personally don't. Maybe some of you guys do, but it just doesn't happen. And the thing that sucks is I know a lot of guys out there, and I know myself, and I know that it would be nice to hear that every once in a while. Like, I'm not saying that I need, constant validation every single day, that I need 1,000, comments on my Instagram pictures, or I need people coming up to me telling me how beautiful I am every day. It's not like that. But again, I would be lying to you if I told you that it wouldn't be nice to receive those every once in a while, especially from somebody that isn't your family. You know what I'm saying? What I'm really trying to convey here is that I don't want you guys to get discouraged if you're not getting that external validation for the progress that you've made on yourself through self-improvement, because it's not always going to come. I'm not saying that it's never going to happen, but truth be told, you might not see any change in the way people treat you off the rip at all. And that's just the truth of it. The real benefit comes from when these people actually get to know you, and you start connecting with them on a deeper level. Then they're gonna see, okay, this person has all the good qualities that I'm looking for in a friend, boyfriend, whatever relationship you're forming with this person. That's really when you see the fruits of your labor come into play. Because when somebody walks by you on the street, never met you before, like, they just think you've always been like that, you look like that. When you see somebody in good shape, just walking by you on the street, you don't look at them and think, "Oh man, I bet they were, super out of shape before then they got into shape," or, "I bet they went through a dark depression in their life and now, that motivated them to become a better person and they made all this progress." You don't think about that. You just look at them and be like, "All right, this guy's in good shape," or you just look at them and take them for what they are. At least I do, right? So it's just unfair to expect other people to do the same thing to you. And that's the thing that I really struggled with, right? Because it's like, I'm making all this progress and all these strides, and again, I'm not perfect. I don't have like some ripped six-pack bodies, but it can be a mental battle to know that you are getting treated the same way after going to the gym, being on top of your reading, being on top of your meditation, being on top of the good habits, becoming more social. You're being on top of all these things, but yeah, you're getting treated the same as if you were unproductive, lazy, playing video games all day, being your meat, things like that, right? It's discouraging because it's like, what am I doing this for, really, right? Like, it's hard because, like, yeah, you're doing this for yourself, but you do want that, you do want to see changes in your life actually take place, right? There's only so much you could do before you're like, okay, I could convince myself only for so long before I actually need to see a difference be made. I think that what I really have learned to do to kind of combat that is to look within myself and see, am I becoming better than I was yesterday? Is my mindset changing? Am I evolving in that way to say that, okay, I am a better person than I was a month ago, 2 months ago, yada yada, right? The mistakes that I was making a month or two ago, a week or two ago even, like, am I going to make those same mistakes today? That's really what you want to look at, right? Look at improvement within yourself, right? Don't look at what other people are saying, right? Especially as a dude, like, you're not going to receive a compliment as it is just by existing, but it can get even harder when you're putting in work and still not receiving them, But you just have to realize, like, that's just how it is. And you have to really look within yourself and how you have changed and assess your own progress and make sure that you, I guess, compliment yourself, right? Have high confidence in yourself because, hey, you could be doing all the self improvement in the world. And, the only way that, you're really going to get acknowledged for it is if there's a big physical change with you, right? Nobody is going to know all the progress you've made mentally, right? Your confidence levels. Nobody's going to know that until they start talking to you. So the progress I've made in terms of confidence, how I speak to people, how I treat people, how I look at different situations, that doesn't come into play when you're walking past somebody on the street, right? They're not going to know that. Even if you say hi to them, you're talking to the clerk at the grocery store, like they're just trying to help you out, do their job, cash out groceries, right? They can't know that, oh my God, this person's such a nice person. He's very confident. He knows what he wants, right? If that girl at the grocery store knew all those things just by looking at you, you might get more compliments, but they just don't. They just don't know the progress that you made to become a better human being, a better partner, a better friend, things like that. So don't get discouraged, right? I know it sucks. I know it sucks not getting that positive feedback always, because trust me, for somebody that doesn't like go out to parties and socialize all the time and things like that, right? I kind of just keep to my close circle of friends, and even when I go out, I don't like introducing myself to everybody I'm with. I'm just kind of more introverted, and nothing wrong with that, but it's like you just have to expect a certain level of communication from people, and you have to accept it if you're going to be that type of person. If you're not going to be the person that goes out and talks to everybody and introduces yourself, and you're not super outgoing and bubbly, which is totally fine. If you are that person, you may see the results better than somebody who's a bit more introverted and kind of keeps calm and collected at all times and remains with his own frame, doesn't talk too much. Somebody like that. Just remember, just because you're not being acknowledged and praised for the things you've been working so hard on does not mean you're not making progress. It does not mean that what you're doing is ineffective and that you should give up on it, right? People may not see the progress you put in. People may not see where you've come from. Until they know your story, until they've heard you speak, until they know your situation, they don't know what point A was to point B, right? And that's all self-improvement is about, going from point A to point B and becoming better from that point A to point B. But people don't know your point A, so they just think your point B is where you're at. If you're being truthful with yourself and the progress you're making, that's the most important thing. Anyway, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop me a sub. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bah!